sue him. I wrote this down earlier this week. I told my kids that I had to write a speech. First thing Cass said is, "Oh, you're gonna cry." I said, "Well, I know, but I'll try to write it so I don't cry." She rolled her eyes and said, "Yeah, you're still gonna cry." But here it goes. I tasked tonight the speakers with 3 rules. Remember, my mom and kids are here. Keep it classy. And don't use the same joke 10 times. 2 out of 3 is not bad. Mind you, that big hunk dancer was pretty close. But they do make a good chocolate bar. I'd like to start by thanking those that took the time to nominate me. It truly meant a lot to me. I appreciate you taking the time to write the letters of recommendation, to put it all together, and then not only that, but obviously Penny, Brenda, to take the time to get up here and speak and say a few words about me. It means a lot. I know that public speaking is definitely not your first love, for sure, Penny. So thank you very much for taking that time. And obviously it's nice to have employees that think that way about you. I consider myself very lucky to have been hired by Trent Taylor when I was still a student at College of the Rockies. Trent taught me so much, both professionally and personally. One of the first things he told me he thought was important for a young business person was to get out and volunteer. From the day I met him, he was a part of Sunrise Rotary Club. He's been on many boards over the years, and he was always volunteering, and to this day, he still is. But one of the things that he also taught me was that you have to volunteer for the right reason. You have to volunteer because you want to and because you enjoy it. And if you do that, you can get a spin-off that, you know what, you as a business person, maybe you get out there, your name is recognized, people get to know you, but at the same time, that's not the reason you go. That can just be a byproduct. And if you go out there looking for that recognition or anything, it's probably not going to last. You're not going to enjoy yourself. You're probably going to be bored. So thank you, Trent, for teaching me that. And I'd also like to thank a former winner of the Citizen of the Year. He's not here tonight, Mike Patterson. I don't know if Mike realizes it or not, but he definitely had an impact on me as well. He called the office one day because he was on the board at the time for the Cranbrook Society for Community Living and was looking for someone to join that board that had a financial background. You heard Margaret Laidlaw speak on one of the videos tonight about the Community Living Society. It's a great local charity whose mission is striving to see beyond disability to ability. They're an amazing group that now has over 100 employees and have residential, vocational, and child and youth services for their clients. It's a great organization and one I learned a lot through volunteering with. I always look forward to those board meetings and hearing from the staff that work there about the programs and the ideas they had. They are passionate about their work and love the people they are helping. At all of our board meetings, a report would be given by the self-advocates. These individuals are clients of the organization, but they're also full board members that volunteered their time to be on the board. It was great to hear the stories every month that they would bring about what they had been doing the past month. But back to Mike. He taught me the importance of how to run an efficient meeting. I've never in my life seen someone that could run a meeting like that guy. It was a work of art. A full meeting in 30 minutes. You said what needed said and nothing more, but you never felt rushed or cut off. It's a truly impressive talent. And he also taught me the importance of having different backgrounds and different strengths on a board. Board of directors for the Cranbrook Society for Community Living at the time, he looked at it and he felt he needed financial expertise because of the budgeting that the charity did. He needed insurance background due to licensing regulations. He needed a construction background because of the residential buildings owned by the organization. He needed a legal background due to labor agreements and clients working outside the organization. And he also wanted parents of clients, to give the family's point of view. Too often, I think when we're on a board, we tend to look at our friends, the same 5 people that we've always known, the same 5 that we always know will volunteer, and we ask them. But he didn't do that. He looked around, he looked at the organization, what it actually needed, and then he went out and found those people. Of course, I'm sure it didn't hurt that the guy knew about 3/4 of the city. But I think that's an important part of volunteering. No matter how much you think you know or how much you've done, you're always going to learn something from it. That's something that whatever organization I've ever been a part of, I always felt that I got to learn something. Now, I'm not going to lie, Cranbrook can be a bit of a clique town. And when you're young and new to the community, and surprisingly shy, it can be tough to find your group. But I was lucky because I found a group of people aged 18 to 40 that were at a similar stage as me. They were trying to improve themselves, but they were also trying to make Cranbrook a better place and make some friends at the same time. JCI Kootenay is very important to me. As you could see tonight, it was a big part of my life, and those friendships that I made in there are going to last me a lifetime. It was a great organization, or it is a great organization, and it was a great learning experience. The time I spent at the ball fields during Sam Steele days, learning and working in public speaking, building the JCI playground at Moyer Park, organizing a national convention in Kimberley, or just on the road at conferences, it was all done with the goal of making the chapter better and stronger while also continuing to learn ourselves. And the list of things we did is long, but it was always just that. It was us. It was never one person. It was always a group. And there's nothing that I've been part of with JCI that was ever just me. One of the greatest things I took from it was you get out of it what you put in. The more you're involved, the more you are going to learn and experience. And it is so true in any organization. Some of my closest friends came from my time volunteering with JCI Kootenay. One of the best decisions I was a part of was a number of years ago when Joey Hushman, Steve Stockwood, I actually had to rewrite this part because I originally had said who couldn't be here tonight, but thanks, buddy. And it made me cry again. But Joey, Steve, and I, we started. We decided to start meeting once a month for lunch, just to get together and have a good time for an hour. That idea has now morphed into a group of about 15 guys getting a series of anywhere from 10 to 100 emails every Friday to decide who can make it for lunch that day and where it's going to be, with one rule always maintained: man only.
We changed that today. Marika came.
You gotta be kidding me.
You're lucky I wasn't there. You would have to sit at another table. I realize it's terribly sexist, but the rule isn't changing, Liz. Although apparently it is.
It's already been done.
Well, it's changing back. We're gonna have a new meeting with some bylaw changes starting next week. You guys are leaving Sunday, right? Yeah. You other guys are losers. But lifelong friends have become part of that Friday boys' lunch. An annual golf trip and a group that is some of the best guys I could ever be lucky enough to be friends with. I'm not even sure what to say about that group. They're obviously very talented based on what was done tonight. I give kudos to the videos. Those were very well done. And I want to thank you guys very much for the time and effort you put into doing those. And the fact that you got my parents and Tracy and my kids all to do one, well done. A wise person once told me that people only tease and bug the ones they like the most. My God, do I feel loved tonight. But I do know that a number of those friends will be up here one day too. They'll tell you the only reason I'm here first is because I'm the oldest. And they're probably right. But I feel very lucky to have a group of people that I respect and admire, but yet know I can call at any time and they're there to help me, to talk to, and most importantly to make me laugh and just have some fun with. The thing I've learned from them is that if you're having fun, then the time you spend at work or volunteering doesn't seem like anything. As it was said, and it was no exaggeration, I think I've spent about 40 or 50 hours out of a weekend volunteering and working with Joey at the ball tournament, at the Samsteel ball tournament. The 10 we weren't working together, we were sleeping together in a trailer at the ball field to ensure we were awake and ready at 6 a.m. when the ball players would arrive. They were some cozy nights. But definitely some of my favorite memories ever. So thank you, buddy. I appreciate everything you've done tonight. That group of guys give so much of their time, their business, their money, anything they can to make this community better. And I truly do respect you guys, even though I sometimes question my judgment. But I really can't wait for you to be up here in the future, because mark my words, I'll get back. And I'd like to thank a couple of other past winners of Citizen of the Year tonight, Karen Penner and Jason Wielden. I really respect both of you. Karen, obviously I respect you because like a good boy, I was taught to respect my elders. You taught me a ton during my time on the chamber board about Cranbrook and what it means to be a part of this community and how to give back to it. You are an extremely giving and hardworking person, and I admire that very much. Thank you very much for your time with the chamber and with helping teach me. And Jason, I certainly do look up to you. I'm not sure if you're aware, but you are taller than I am. Sometimes try to look around you, but you make that hard. Some benefits to getting the mic last. But I've known you for years, and your knowledge, your hard work, and the time that both you and Christy spent volunteering is truly amazing. I think people are successful if they could do half as much for the community as you. Thank you again very much for all your time tonight as well. It's people like the two of you that really make a difference and truly make me proud to say that I've won this award and can join this very distinguished group of people that have won the award. It's something that is very humbling to me. To many of us, coworkers and employees are like our family. I mean, let's face it, for part of the year we see each other way more than we do our family, so it's very important to get along. I'm very lucky to have a great group of people that I work with, not only now, but over the past 20 years that I've been here. It's pretty nice to still get a Christmas card from an employee that moved away 10 years ago, or to see people at a hockey game that retired years ago and they still say hello and ask how you are, or to have a former employee bring her young son into the office because his class is raising money to adopt a child at Christmas, and she wants him to do the talking and explain what the project is all about. Our office is filled with those kind of people. They're filled with people that give their time to the community to make it better, and it really makes me proud to be a part of it. They also have always been there over the years to help me, or donate to me, or ensure work got done if I was doing something else. I can remember being on my way to Kelowna to fly to Puerto Rico for a JCI conference on April 30th. Not exactly the best time for a conference to start for an accountant. But I was getting stressed out phone calls from employees as they fought to ensure that all our taxes got filed on time, which they did. So thank you guys for that. But I'd like to give my staff a very big thank you. Because lots has been said about our fundraising efforts for the Dress for a Cause and wearing pink bras for breast cancer research, but that was all their idea. I guess me wearing the bras was actually my idea. They did actually look not bad. They're surprisingly handy for holding miniature chocolate bars just after Halloween. But our office actually taking part was all them. They came to me and said they wanted to do it as a fundraiser and asked if that would be okay. It meant a lot to both Tracy and I. Of course, I have to thank my friends, family, clients, acquaintances, and everybody else that donates to me when I sign up to do some of those things. Whether it's wear a pink bra, go outside in boxer shorts, grow a ridiculous mustache, or walk around in a turkey suit, I've learned that if you're willing to make yourself look foolish for a good cause, people will amaze you with their generosity. By the way, the guy in the with the turkey, I don't know who that was. But I wouldn't mind finding out, because that's a good way to fundraise next year. I'll never forget what it meant when I received a $500 donation from someone on Facebook that I hadn't seen in over 20 years. Just because he wanted to support what I was doing and just help my cause. And I will never forget the email I got from a high school classmate that said, "We donated a small amount for Dress for a Cause. I'm sorry we couldn't donate more, but things are very tight right now as my husband is laid off work. But we wanted to show you our support and do what we could and wish you all the best in what you're doing." It was through people like that that I learned that there's really no such thing as a small donation. I certainly have to thank my family. They're almost all here tonight. One brother is away volunteering, coaching his son's hockey team. But as I said, my other brother, both sisters, and my parents have all made the big trip from Creston for the occasion. Of course, the first thing I heard from them when it was announced I won was, "Holy Jesus, they're desperate in Cranbrook." Or, "Why didn't they ask me for my opinion?" Or even, "Thank God those pictures of you at that football game we went to weren't released." We tend to share the same sense of humor and sarcasm. And by the way, it was him that should hope those football pictures don't come out, not me. I need to thank my mom and dad, because besides giving all of us a sick, twisted, and perverted sense of humor, they also taught us the importance of working hard and volunteering your time. It's something all of us learned from a young age by seeing what they did for others. My dad was the first one I learned the phrase, "A change is as good as a rest," from. As a teenage boy, I thought he was an idiot and should just relax instead of volunteering to coach hockey or gymnastics after working 60 or 70 hours a week. To this day, he still goes by that motto, but instead now he gets up at 2 a.m. and starts renovating kitchens for my aunts. Because when else would you do it? And every time he was stepping up to build someone a house, or help someone that needed a hand or money, or coaching a team, my mom was there, probably rolling her eyes, taking a deep breath, and saying what a great idea it was, and how she was behind him, even though knowing it meant more work on the farm for her, more work helping build the house, or more time running all of us kids to activities. I think it's pretty cool that I'm the oldest kid in my family, and I was 16 when my dad won Citizen of the Year in Creston. And now Michaela, my oldest, is 16 when I win it here. Puts a bit of pressure on you girls, though. Looking for some big things in about 30 years. I'm obviously very lucky to have 4 great kids that are already hard workers, usually, and volunteer themselves. Whether it's ringing the bell for the Salvation Army, being on 4-H executive, trying to sell lemonade for 4-H, repping kids basketball, they've all been a part of volunteering, and they've all been a part of just being an all-around good teenage and younger girls. And I truly hope you all keep it up and become the great young women that I know you can be. And based on tonight, I think you should take a future in public speaking because you all did very good. That was great. And that brings me to the last and most important one. And the one that I have to say the least about, because I actually start crying just writing what I want to say. But luckily for me, Tracy knows me well enough to know there's no chance in hell I can actually thank her properly, and she won't hold it against me. Because luckily she's also very forgiving. I will say how truly lucky I am that back in September 1996, when this smoking hot, very shy girl stepped way out of her comfort zone to offer me the handout from our business communications class. See, I do have a good memory. After that, it was a walk back to the College of the Rockies dorms together, and the rest, as they say, is history. I do have to say that we have a lot of very smart friends, though, because as soon as Tracy posted on Facebook that I had won this award, one of the first and definitely the most common comment was, well, you know what they say, behind every good man is a great woman. And from the bottom of my heart, believe me, that is the perfect description of us. Tracy volunteers so much of her time, and always has. Whether it be the Maverick Riding Club, TM Roberts PAC, the District PAC, the local and district 4-H leader and treasurer, and just this week, stepping up as the Abreast in the Rockies Dragon Boat treasurer. Just to name a few. You're an amazing person who always puts others first. You're such a great role model for our daughters and a woman that I love more than anything. Thank you. Thank you all very much for this award. It truly is humbling, and I am so thankful for everybody being here tonight. Thank you.